Welcome back to the Planet Zoo Habitat Builder series. This is part 2. Last time we did the alpine ibex, and now we only have 159 more to go. Only 159. And we are getting the wild boar, not to be confused with the warthog. Now these guys are part of the Eurasia animal pack. They're pretty widespread, so I think we'll get a good variety. I think they're a bit picky with terrain. I think they like a lot of dirt, but they shouldn't be fussy on what kind of plants they like. Let's see, one male, group of females, ideally. Yeah, we have them all researched already, which is great. Okay, so they like friends in their enclosure. We have the fallow deer, which is from the European pack, and we have the mute swan and the wisent from the Eurasia pack. The red deer came with the 3rd year anniversary, so you should get it with the base game. So what I'll do is I'll add them to the enclosure, and I'll start them on the wheel. If I get them on the wheel again, I'll change up their habitat. That's what I'll do. Or I'll try and see if I can breed them out to get like a unique genetic breed or something like that. But I'll also change their habitat because it's a habitat builder series, but I want to highlight maybe a mutation that they can get or something if it's possible. So my idea was to kind of have an underground river that's going to flow through. At some point I'll have to actually pay attention to the guests. So I want them to be able to kind of walk like a land bridge over this little river that's going to go under them, and then maybe at some point I can do like an underground area. I don't know, I have ideas. So I don't want to make another cave because I've already done that with the alpine ibex, but I am going to make little houses for them inside the mountains. So there'll be 2 little huts, and that'll be good for the mute swan and the wild boar. Maybe the fallow deer because they're a little bit smaller than the red deer and certainly smaller than the wisent. I'll have to make separate enclosures for them, probably something a little bit more simple, but like I said, when I get them on the wheel again, I may change up their houses or something like that. Something simple, very natural. Yeah. Yeah, that looks great. Pull forward a little bit. Raise this up. I'm worried that they won't be able to get in there. Okay, let me just flatten this down a little bit. Try not to go into the mountain. Add some bedding. And we'll just smooth that all out. And I'm making this a nightmare for my zookeepers, but that's kind of their problem. Let's buy all of their animals. They're all just the regular, standard coloration, no mutations I'm purchasing. Send them to the zoo. In the meantime, I'm just going to cover this all in grass, go through the areas that I would like to be kind of rocky and muddy, and do a rock bottom for a river. I'm not going to add any trees at the moment, other than the reeds, because I want to see how much dirt they're actually going to need before I start placing down trees and such. And pro tip, it's so much easier to do the underground plants before there's water rather than while there's water. And then if you need anything aligned to the surface, obviously do your water and then put the plants in. I love that our guests are just so excited to do a 2-minute tour and then leave. They're paying admission every time. They have complained it's too cheap to come into the zoo, even though they're not even in the zoo. I did give them a donation box just in case. Whoa! And they're standing. And that's our boy. Marcus. So majestic. Oh, he likes the water! Look at him! He's going for a bit of swim. Look at him, he's jumping for joy. Oh. I don't think he's very impressed with the shelter. He's kind of looking at it like this is it. I was right, they do need quite a bit more dirt. So I added that. get our swans in, and hopefully they'll have more approval than our boarded. Are you gonna go in the water? Oh, you're doing your goose adjacent thing. You are also really disappointed. Right. Got the red deer. He's huge. I would say he's closer like elk size. He's massive. Licensed, big, beefy guy. Go ahead and add all of our foliage. I tried to keep a good variety, but something that's within nature, so just different sizes of the same tree kind of clustered together, maybe a bit of variety in between. Lots of shrubbery. I know it looks a little sad right now, but trust the process. Once we get these groupings together, it's gonna look really good. And I want it to be so that you can still see the animals, because I could have made this super dense, because they all have really good tolerance for foliage and such. Like, you can pretty much make it so these guys can't move, and they'd be very, very happy. But when we do, at some point, decide to help our guests out to see, I don't want to get a bad rating and have to redo this enclosure and take away a lot of the trees and such. So we're going to try and stick to the shrubbery, try to stick to really tall, bushy at the top trees so that our guests can eventually see them, if we choose to eventually get them into the zoo. And there we have it. I love this view. I think it was a great pan over. We got some babies. They're so cute. They look so fluffy. And this is the fallow deer. Fun fact, they actually keep their spots as they grow up, unlike most here. They start with spots and then lose them. The baby bison is probably my favorite. I love big animals and their chunky, uneven babies. I just think they're very funny. And he's very happy to be jumping through the shrubbery. This is our baby red deer. You can kind of tell it's got bigger ears. And our license enjoying our little mud area we've given him as well. And you'll probably see a few bacon seedlings in the background here. A few wild boar babies. There's one, for example. This is a great pan. You can see our swans really like us because they have been multiplying like crazy. I like it. I think it's great. And I only have 158 to go. So you should probably like this and subscribe so I actually get it done.